and greetings, beautiful beings. How you be? Thank you so much for being here on another episode of Sacred Sound Expressions. Today, we are going to be talking about the sacred snake venom, okay, honey? And I am so excited to share my story and my testimony working with the snake spirit. But before we get into that, we need to first discuss traditional versus modern day uses, the benefits of using the snake venom, as well as the ethics of use. How are we going about this? How are we doing this ethically, okay? And before we dive right in, I really would like to just call upon the snake spirit, call upon my ancestors to come into this now moment with me, and feel free to use me as a conduit and speak through me. If there's any point in time where the snake spirit or one of my ancestors has something to say, I do invite you to use me as a vessel and to speak to the collective. Okay, let's get into it. So, the snake itself has been used globally for thousands of years. Snake venom medicine isn't anything new. What is kind of new is administering a diluted venom onto the skin, similarly to how Cambo is administered. Now, in modern day uses, pharmaceutical companies use different snake venoms to create different medicines for cardiovascular health, renal disease. There's all of these different ailments and diseases that are treated using synthetic versions of the snake venom in prescription medications. So snake venom isn't new. It's been around for quite a while, and it's not just used in indigenous ways. It is used also in pharmaceutical companies. So let's get into the benefits. Why are we doing this? Why are we putting something that is so popularly known as a toxic, as a venom, as a poison? Why are we putting this in our body? So when you look at the makeup of snake venoms, there are hundreds and hundreds of compounds within the venom. There's proteins, there's enzymes, there's peptides, there's carbohydrates, there's all these different compounds in the venom that can be extracted and used for medicinal purposes. Now, I can't speak for any of the other snakes because I only worked with one, but the snake that I chose for my ceremony is called the monocled cobra. It is also known as the Indian spitting snake, and it's found in Southeast Asia. And it is a neurotoxic, which means it affects the nervous system. So this is a snake venom that is working directly with the nervous system. It is good for clearing out mucus from the lungs and sinuses, improving cardiovascular health. Psychologically, it's good for clarity of thought. It slows excessive thinking and aids in focus and repairing the neural pathways. So those are just a few of the benefits of using the monocled cobra. Now, mind you, there are many, many, many varieties of snakes, many of which are used in medications. So if you are interested in using the snake venom medicine, you have to be sure to do your education. Later on in the video, we are going to discuss what is your responsibility as a patient of this medication, and how you can get informed and get inspired and use this medicine ethically, okay? So those are just a few of the benefits. It's actually kind of hard to find information online about the snake venom as medicine, but go again to that book, The Serpent Grail. That's a really, really good place to start, okay? So let's talk about the ethics of use, okay? I am here editing this video, and I just have to say I am so annoyed with myself in the amount of times that I say the word okay. And listen, I was feeling frustrated that day, so I think something was happening psychologically. Like, I don't think it's okay to say okay that many times in a 30-minute time span. So bear with me, okay? I love you. What's the difference between a shaman and a drug dealer? Yeah. For me, the answer to that question is ethics, okay? But first, let's define a drug dealer, okay? I have defined a drug dealer as someone who sells rare and illicit substances for the purpose of receiving money. And this person is in service to themselves. They just getting a bag, bro. They just hustling. They don't care about what happens in the health and the spiritual well-being of the human. They just need their money. Okay? That's a drug dealer. A shaman is a student of medicine and has an abnormal spiritual ability to bring about healing amongst the sick in order to serve their community. A shaman is in service to the divine, in service to the community. They're not focused on getting rich or being known as this shaman with this rare medicine. Ooh, look at all the cool shit that I've got. And that's not a shaman to me. Those aren't the type of shamans that I want to work with. So let's examine ethics. Like what is ethics? What is ethics? Okay. Ethics can be defined as moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. So essentially, what's your code? What's your spiritual code of conduct? Because drug dealers got a code too, but your code came from the streets. Okay. Shaman's code of conduct comes from the medicine. It comes from their educators. It comes from their ancestors. It comes from the divine. And it is so important to make sure that you are vetting your shaman. Here are some responsibilities that you have as a patient, as a receiver of the medication. Because let's get one thing clear. You are meant to be a patient. This is a medicine. This isn't a drug. This isn't something meant to get you high and used as recreational purposes. This is a medicine for treatment. Okay, so you as a patient, vet your shaman. Vet your shaman. Ask about them. Ask around. Ask the community members that have worked with them. What was it like working with this person? Don't work with a stranger. Don't work with someone you don't know just because you saw them post a couple videos or a couple pictures administering medicine on Facebook. Have fun if you do. I hope you're okay. Like, I don't wish any harm upon you, but you have to be careful when picking medicine practitioners. You have to be responsible. So one of the ways you can also be responsible is to get informed about the medicine. Do your own research. And then also make sure you are asking the shaman, okay, what is in this? Because baby, he pulled out a little bitty vial and a micro needle. And I didn't even ask him what was in it. Until 6 weeks later, I'm asking him what was in this. Do you see how irresponsible that is? There could have been anything in there. Now, luckily, I know my shaman and I have a relationship with my shaman, and I can see God in my shaman and my shaman can see God in me. We can recognize oneness within each other. So I trusted him with my life, and I still do. And it's important to develop a relationship not only with the medicine, but with your shaman before working in these medicine ceremonies, because there is a quantum entanglement. Once you work with a shaman, you two are freaking bonded, okay? Bonded quantumly, like all the way down to your cells, down to your atoms. You are bonded with this person. So it's so important that you get to know them before allowing them to administer medicine to you, okay? The next thing that you can do, and it's your responsibility to do as a patient, is to get inspired. Prior, let's say you've gotten informed, you've vetted your shaman, you really want to work with this person, you really want to work with this medicine. When it is time for you to receive your medication, it is so important that you get inspired, aka get in spirit. Make sure that you are in the presence of God before you take that medication, because God could be telling you, don't do it. Baby, this is snake venom. This is snake venom. God could be telling you this ain't the medicine for you, but because you have not gotten in spirit, you have not gotten inspired, you're just taking medicine because it's available or because it's cool or whatever reason that you got, brother. Okay? Get inspired before taking the medication. So now let's talk about the ethics and the responsibilities and the duties of the shaman, of the practitioner, and things that you should be looking out for. Number one, if it is not your divine calling and a divine inspiration of you to be a shaman, don't get away from me. I don't want it. If you just like being known as the guy that got mushrooms, I don't want medicine from that person. That's a drug dealer to me. I want someone who is divinely inspired to work with the mushroom, to work with the venom, to work with the combo, administering medicine to me. Okay? And you are divinely inspired to be in service of your community members, not you trying to chase a bag, you trying to just get some money. If you just want to get some money off these mushrooms and off this medicine and off these ceremonies, you are not the shaman for me. No, thank you. I choose a different adventure. Okay. Secondly, it is your responsibility and duty as a shaman to make sure that you have a relationship with your medicines. Baby, if you just learned how to do snake venom 3 weeks ago and now you're trying to out here do it on other people, get the fuck away from me. Get away from me. I don't play that. You've been administering, you learned how to do this 3 weeks ago. And now you advertising on Facebook that you over here holding snake venom ceremonies. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have no wisdom. You have no experience. Absolutely not. Third, as a shaman, you must honor your guidance system. Honor your guidance system. If a patient comes to you and they want snake venom and you vet the patient and you ask them what medications they're on, how they sleeping, what they eating, do they exercise, and your spirit say they don't need snake venom, don't give them snake venom. I don't care how much money they have to offer. Don't give it to them. Because if something happens to them, that's on you. That's on you. Look in this pen. Listen. I get really worked up about this because I see so many people with absolutely no morals administering these medications. Where's your honor and where is your integrity? And I really do just I get worked up, especially because the next thing that you are responsible for as a shaman, as a medicine practitioner, is to pay homage to your educators. Okay? Don't just get trained in how to use snake venom and then completely dispose of your educator. First of all, that's fucking dangerous, because hopefully you're being educated by a master who has wisdom and has experience. It is so dangerous for you to receive this education and then just completely distance yourself away from the educator, because what happens when your patient's hands turn green and you don't know what to do? Who you gonna call? Because you done distance yourself and you done burnt bridges with your educator. So now that your patient is having a reaction and you don't know how to fix it, what are you going to do? It is so important to maintain a relationship with your educators even after your training. And not only to maintain a relationship, but to pay homage to them. You out here making all this money from all these ceremonies. Have you given back to your educator at all? Have you donated to their communities? Have you came and volunteered in their communities? Like, what? Where is your gratitude? How can you just learn how to use these medicines and just completely distance yourself and dispose of the educators that taught you how to use this in the first place? Okay? It's important to know these things about your shaman, you as a patient interested in these medicines. Ask these questions. If you would like a list of questions to ask your shaman prior to your medicine ceremony, click the link in my description that takes you to my website. I have a blog where I have a list of questions that you can ask your shaman prior to getting into ceremony with them, because it really does go deeper than just receiving medicine. I'm just buying some mushrooms. No, you're not. You are quantumly entangling yourself with the grower of the mushroom. That's what you're actually doing. So it's important that you are making an educated and consensual agreement with this shaman, because so many people don't even realize what they're signing up for. And then you wondering why you're having these adverse reactions. Because baby, that wasn't for you. And you were not guided to go do that. So make sure you are following your guidance system when choosing a shaman and when choosing a medicine to work with, okay? All right, that's it. As I got off my soapbox, that's all I had to say. I just needed to get that out there, and I just really needed to stress the importance. But let's get into the fun stuff, okay? Let's get into why you came here, because I know y'all want to see me get snake venom put in my neck. I know. All right, so I'm at the Detroit Psychedelic Conference after hours. Any views and opinions expressed in this video are not a representation of the Detroit Psychedelic Conference and any of their organizers and any of their planners. These are my own personal opinions, and the medicine ceremony that I'm talking about happened after the conference and did not happen at the conference. Don't think that you're going to go to the conference and be getting... Anyways, I picked a snake, okay? We talked about the amount of gates, these dots on my neck, these are called gates. We talked about the amount of gates that I should begin with. And then we talked about the location of the gates that I wanted on my body. Now with the monocled cobra, which is what I got, it is more of a mind medicine. It really works with the mind and your nervous system. So it was important to me to get my gates in a location that could be near my head, essentially. Shit, I didn't want to get them on my face, so I got them here to help facilitate the connection between heart and mind and to help clear out my lungs. And I got them on the back of my neck here because there's like this little organ at your spinal cord here that helps you filter out all information. I'm gonna put it right here, don't worry, and then you can go look up what this is. But basically it helps you filter out all the information that you're processing and put it into a cohesive story in your mind. And I just wanted to get my gates here to be able to kind of reset that organ and make sure that that filtration system is operating properly so that I can process information efficiently. Okay, so once we dealt with the prep, then the next part of the next phase of the ceremony is to burn the skin. Now he used like a little, it almost looked like a little incense stick, like it looked like a little vine. It could be a tatika vine, which is often used in Kambo ceremonies, but it just looked like a little stick. And he lit it on fire, blew the fire out, and then just like dotted me a couple times for each gate. He like, 1 to 2 times burned my skin. So once the skin has been burned, he then took a paper towel and then wiped off the burned skin to reveal an open superficial wound on my skin where he will then place the medicine. So once the skin is wiped off, the shaman uses a micro needle, a little itty bitty skinny needle, and extracts the venom, diluted venom, from the vial in a specific measurement. I don't know the measurements. And then placed a certain dosage on each gate, which you can see in the video. Once the venom is applied topically, then I sit there, I think for about 30 to 45 minutes to allow the medicine to be absorbed into my body, into my bloodstream. And then once that's done, dragon's blood resin is placed on top of the wounds to seal them and to help prevent any type of infections. Okay, so that is the process of receiving the medication. That does not encompass, what you've seen does not encompass a full ceremony. Each shaman has their own way of going about the prep and the aftercare. Okay, so now that we've gotten into the application process, let's talk about side effects. On day 1, during the actual application process, I didn't feel much of anything. I did feel the essence of the snake enter me, but I didn't really feel much of anything the first day. But baby, the second day, I woke up and I felt bad. I felt shitty. I felt feverish. I felt sluggish. I was tired. I had a headache. Like, I could tell that the venom was really in my bloodstream at this point. And it did feel as if the venom was fighting something, fighting or at least cleansing, aggressively cleansing something within my body, okay? So I went to my shaman and was like, yo, this is how I'm feeling. Is this normal? And he reassured me that this is a normal and a common reaction. Everything is okay. He reassured me that I could take some Tylenol to help with the headache. And he just soothed me, and he calmed me, gave me a big old hug, and made sure that I knew I was okay. So that's all of those symptoms did fade throughout the day. I think with eating and resting and drinking water, those symptoms did fade. And by the end of day 2, I felt mostly back to normal. Still tired, but mostly normal. Day 3, I was tired, but I didn't at all feel the same way as I did on day 2. I felt much better by day 3. Now, the thing about it is, the snake venom is meant to be administered in multiple doses over a period of time. There is debate about how much time. Some people say 3 days, some people say a week, some people say as long as you're getting these doses within a 30-day period, you're good. And it's really all up to you and the shaman to discuss when and how you are to receive your doses. You want to kind of think of it like you're injecting yourself with nanobites, and each round of nanobites are like these soldiers going into your body, working with your white blood cells, and driving out and detoxing anything that you've got going on that doesn't need to be there. And so when you're administering these nanobites, these soldiers, you want to make sure that you're providing backup. Okay, so that's why the medicine is administered in multiple sessions over a period of time, because for one, you're microdosing. You can't take a whole lot of venom in one day. It is venom. So it's important to make sure that you're getting all 3 doses. Now, unfortunately for me, I did not get all 3 doses on day 3. I just wasn't into it. My guidance system, every opportunity there was to get more medicine, my guidance system said, no, we cool. We good. I don't want to do it. And I was okay with that. I'm okay with only having the 2 doses. And I feel like that's what my body needed. I feel like that 3rd dose would have completely overwhelmed my body. I had a 6-hour drive back home that day, and I was already exhausted. And my moon cycle started, which it was due that day. My moon cycle started that day. And because of the snake venom is an anticoagulant, it really thinned out my cycle. My cycle came out the consistency of water, and that's something I've never experienced before. So I was just really not feeling it. And so day 3, I decided not to get my 3rd dose, and instead I went home and I relaxed and I got sleep and I got nourishment in my body. Okay, and that was my decision as a patient. So let's talk about long-term side effects. It's been about 6 weeks since I received my medication, and you know, it's one thing to read on a piece of paper that this medicine is going to provide clarity of thought. It's a whole other thing to experience it. When I tell you, it's as if my internal guidance system has been turned up loudly. I am able to read faster. I can process information faster, like when someone's talking to me. I just have these heightened senses, these heightened abilities. And yeah, it was a bit scary to experience that, because it was literally like I woke up one day and I could think faster and I could read faster. it was strange, and it was a bit scary to experience. But also after about 3 days of being able to think faster, I did get used to it, and it wasn't so physically uncomfortable anymore. I definitely got a lot of drainage and a lot of just drainage of mucus from my lungs and from my sinuses. I be smoking, your girl be token, okay? Not proud of it. I'm just admitting it. And the monocle cobra venom really, even now to this day, helps me keep my lungs and my sinuses clear. It's October and it is allergy season, and I normally get very heavily affected by allergies in the month of October, but I've only been dealing with very minor sneezing and watery eyes, just a little bit, very minor, whereas previously my allergies have been really impacted during the month of October. Something else, another side effect, has been speaking up for my needs and not being afraid to take up the space that I need to take up. Baby, I need space. I need some space, okay? Your girl got big energy, okay? Your girl got some spiritual authority, and I need space. And I also need other things. And not being, it's almost like I'm not even hesitating to say, this is what I need. This is what I need. These are my boundaries. And it's been very liberating to not second guess myself or dilute myself so that I make sure I'm not taking too much. But I'm realizing I'm not taking too much. I'm just taking what I need. When you plant a tree in the backyard, do you want it to be afraid of taking too much? Or do you want the tree to feel free to take what it needs? Right, exactly. Okay. So, me and the spirit of patience have not been the best of friends, but these last 6 weeks, I have really developed a deeper connection with patience. I had a dream a few weeks ago, and my dreams always communicate to me in a really powerful way. I had a dream that I was in labor, about to give birth, and that I had a fear-based thought. And this fear-based thought affected the heart rate of the baby. And as soon as I had the thought, the baby's heart rate dropped. It dipped. And instead of reaching out for help to the resources around me, I was in a hospital. I fucking panicked. I flew off the handle. I was running around, screaming, crazy, crying, throwing up, carrying on. And I ended up like forcing the baby to come out. But because I forced the delivery, the baby got a cut on its head and I tore really bad. And so I remember I was just standing there holding this baby. I'm bleeding all over the floor. The baby is bleeding from a cut in the head. And I remember waking up like, what the fuck was that? And it was my subconscious communicating to me that under no circumstance do I want a premature manifestation. You don't want your manifestations to come too early, because not only is it going to damage you, it's going to damage your manifestation. And that is one of the ways that I've been working with the spirit of the snake to be more patient. Because when you think about a snake, when you observe a snake in the wild, snakes are incredibly patient. They would chill under a rock all day just waiting for a prey to walk by. Like, chilling. Straight, every time you see a snake, what's it doing? Chilling. Okay? So I've really been tapping in and getting a deeper connection to patience and trusting and knowing that my manifestation will walk by me, and knowing that I'm not going to miss it because I am fully capable, because I am equipped with all that I need. Okay, hallelujah, amen, y'all. This has been a very interesting journey working with the snake spirit, and you really do become more like a snake. And that's the cool part. Each snake has its own characteristics. So I'm working with the monocle cobra, and I can feel the essence of the snake, me becoming more like the snake. And it's fucking cool, man. I do understand why people use spirituality as an accessory, and this is cool shit, and you are in no need of treatment, but you want the medicine. I do understand it. Um, but spirituality is not an accessory. These medicines are not an accessory. These are not drugs. These are not trends. These are medicines, and they should be used as medicines. So if you, again, want to learn more about the serpent spirits, be sure to read the book Serpent Grail, and I'll put a picture and a link or whatever in the description so that you can read the book on your own. If you want to see a list of questions to ask a shaman before working with them, that link is down in the description below. It's going to be a blog on my website. And yeah, I think that's all I need to tell you. Let me check. Let me see. That's right. Be sure to tune in next week on another episode of Sacred Sound Expressions, where we are going to be talking about dating while conscious and the twin flame journey. Okay? Let's get into it. Okay? I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and just be safe. Be safe. Be responsible. Be ethical on your medicine journey, my brothers and my sisters and my non-binary siblings. Okay? I love you so much. Be safe.